Yo, hello. How are you guys doing? Let me know if everything's working, because I don't know. I mean, it should. Don't think anything should have changed, but yeah. As you can hear, I think anyway, my voice is still fucked. I can barely talk, but we'll get through it. I mean, this is 100 times better than it was last week. I was battling with a virus that was, I don't know, it was fucking horrendous. But we are here and we are back. So we will make the most of it. And if I make disgusting sounds during the stream, I'm sorry. It's just how it is. It's the risk you take by hanging around here. But yeah, how are you guys doing? Given that I'm on the way back up, as is the market, I'm wondering how you guys are doing. Is it just me that got completely fucked, or other people in the same boat? Good evening, Dawn, and all respect to Pump. Everything looks ultra juicy, Bitcoin and most of the other stuff as well. Yes, it's quite nice. It's pretty big pump, and it's in the perfect zone. It's exactly where we want the pump to happen, and it is happening. So yeah. Dawn voice is still sick. Yeah. This is not nice, but oh my god, your voice. Hope you feel better. Oh, you should have heard me. Like, I still, like, when I'm laughing, I lose, like, nothing comes out. Like, it's really fucking odd. In general, like, when I'm trying to change my voice too, like when I try to go higher or lower, nothing happens. Like, I just, like, I try to talk and nothing comes out. It's insane. Quick question, funds are Seifu? I mean, I think so, but we'll see. Who could forget that cred sniff of 2022 when you had that horrendous cold? Yeah, beautiful. Huh? I remember. Oh, you don't sound so well. Hope you feel better soon. It's like I said, this is much better. The only thing that's really annoying still is my ears are closed, so I cannot hear anything or almost nothing. So I have to play everything on max volume. My girlfriend has to shout if she wants something from me. It's not fun being locked inside of your head, but other than that, it's good. But yeah, let's get to the market, shall we? See what's up. Given everything's up really, so that's good. But yeah, we can run through all the time frames and then go from there, I think. The monthly time frame still looks fucking excellent. If you remember 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't around last week, 2 weeks ago I was like, the monthly closed at resistance here. I don't think it's a good resistance, but it's one where you could get a wick to the downside, right? And that's exactly what's been happening in the last few days. We had a wick towards support, but we never really hit support. And you will see this in all time frames. And this is exactly what we've been talking about for the last few weeks, right? Supports are meant to be front run in this environment, and so far so good, right? We front ran every single support, every single significant support anyway, on every single time frame, which is good news, because if you front run supports, that means that people are really wanting to get in, and there's no one willing to sell it down into the good supports, which makes people just have to buy even though they want to buy lower, and people are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for supports to be hit, and then it bounces, and those people on the sidelines are the fuel that you need to break through resistances, because they're like, fuck this, I just want some, I'm gonna buy some, and then price can go up easier, which is quite nice, and that's what we've been seeing. So monthly support front ran, not surprising. It's a good look. This just is an excellent monthly chart. We had a false breakdown here based on the FTX fiasco. Didn't hold, had a massive impulse, holding above support, not even retesting it. That's good news. monthly looks excellent, right? Nothing to complain about here. And we switch to the weekly, right? And I mapped this zone out ages ago. Anything below 18.6K looks really horrendous. Given that, yeah, there is support down there, but we've really, like, this is a FOMO rally. We shouldn't really go that low anymore. I think that invalidates the thesis. We're not even close to that, right? We didn't even get to the danger zone in this pullback. And even though that is the case, I saw, like, I checked Twitter from time to time while I was sick, and I saw a bunch of people being very, very bearish, which is quite funny because, I mean, we basically pulled back in the zone. We hit the resistance to the looks amazing zone here, pulled back, didn't even get to the danger zone, didn't get to the support either. There was no reason to be bearish, right? The only reason to be bearish was the bearish news that kept on coming out. And the fact that we're up now is a massive sign of strength, right? For the people that don't know, the Binance native stablecoin got nuked by regulators, basically. It's still going to be around. You don't have to worry if you have some. It's going to be around for a year, so you can redeem your coins. I don't think there's going to be any problem on that front. I'd be surprised. But that's bad news, right? Stablecoins are really important for the market. Stablecoins in general are a big, big thing. And the reason why it got nuked was because the Binance stablecoin was classified as a security, as far as I read it anyway. Like I said, I was delusional with like almost 40-degree fever for that whole week, but from what I could see, that's what happened, and that's not good news. And yeah, this is price on the daily time frame. So we dipped a little bit, and now we're giga rallying. Absolutely zero reason to be bearish here. And just look at this chart; it's absolutely gorgeous. We front ran the support, and yeah, bearish news. People just take it. Take the liquidity from like people that are like very fearful and just fucking send buy into it. And yeah, just looks absolutely amazing. I hit a tweet at the low here, and I was like, this is a higher low basically. And then we just went up, right? So I don't really have good reasons to be bearish. I don't have good reasons to sell the position that I've accumulated at the lows down here. So I'm not going to change anything, and this is exactly what I wanted to see. And yeah, this is just amazing. And we're currently mooning like on the lower time frames. Like, this is absolutely insane, going completely vertical. I'm not surprised, honestly. I'll farm my clout. I was expecting this to be a higher low. It turned into a higher low, and it's funny, right? You get an up move like this with no pullback. You get one tiny pullback and people are bearish again. And this just shows me everything I need to know. And bro, with this voice, you sound hella serious, and I'm absorbing your words more than ever. Well, I'll take it. I'll just have to fuck my voice every time, and then I'll get a big following because people think I'm a giga smart guy. But yeah, I can hear myself way too loud. It's very awkward. I don't know if you've ever like closed your ears, as in like just like hold your hands over your ears and then start talking. It's fucking odd hearing yourself speak, and I hear myself speak all the time now. Fucking insane. But yeah, this is quite nice. I think if you want to make an argument for where this is gonna stop, I don't really see a reason why 24K would do the job, right? So we can talk about the weekly because it's the cleanest chart. We bounced before we hit support, right? And like I said, this is the story of the game right now, which is perfect. And the reason why I don't like 24 is because, one, we've tested it already, and two, because it's kind of like a shitty swing point. There's nothing, this changed nothing, right? And there's a massive gap above it. So for me, 32K is what I'm targeting. I'm not going to take any profit before 32K or before we start invalidating my thesis. And my thesis has just been spot on, right? Ever since the bottom, it's been right. I'm not going to like take profits early. I'm just going to hang on. And I think this is one thing that I've seen a lot of people parrot in the last few weeks. And this is something that happens all the time. Like, you have a massive bear market, and after 1 year, people finally realize that it's a bear market, and they're like, just take profit, bro. Take profit on every position. Need to close it. It runs into resistance, close it. It does this, close it. Close all the positions. Well, the thing is, I mean, that's nice in a bear market, right? But if you miss time or like misjudge the market, it's the worst thing you can do, because you're not gonna get another entry, right? Sometimes it is worth to swing for the fences, especially if you have the high time frames behind you, and the current price action is basically caused by people just taking profit, right? Because a lot of people are taking profit on the way up, and they have to buy back higher, and I don't want to be that guy, especially given I suck at buying back higher. I'm just like, dude, I sold this at 19K. Why the fuck would I want to be buying it at 23K? So I'm just not, and that's why I'm holding on for dear life. That's why I've been chilling my positions, because I've been thinking that we're gonna have more to get, and I still think there's more to get in this rally. We basically we're up 54% from the low, and I want to basically from the low double, and that's where I can start seeing proper resistance come in, a proper pullback. Anything before then, not for me. Unless, and there's like, we can talk about the invalidation obviously, unless we break 24K, spend some time there and then fall back down. At that point, I might take some profit. This is the one thing that I would not like to see, because then we're basically doing this all over again. That's what I don't want to see, but with a structure like this, I don't really have too much to worry about right now. Don's voice sounds spaced. It is. It's completely gone, but yeah. It's a sinus thing, it's normal, yeah. But it's not only a sinus thing, my throat was completely fucked too. Is the difference between bearish sentiment on Twitter and the price moving up a reflection that Twitter doesn't reflect the market? No. So basically, when you have like these extreme sentiments on Twitter or whatever, a lot of people can be very bearish this thing, right? But if there's no one left that can sell, right? If people are going to sell, and they sell on the way down usually, and then they get more and more bearish the more they sell, right? And at some point you just start running out of sellers, and so you can have 90% of the market be bearish because 90% of the market sold, right? But that doesn't mean the market has to go down just because most people are bearish. And the opposite is the fact. Like, you have a bunch of people that like crypto that sold because they think prices are gonna go lower. So no, I think Twitter pretty accurately reflects, especially the comments. Like, something that I see a lot is people following good traders, and then they're like, oh, everyone's bullish. Like people with 0 followers on Twitter, they're like, oh, everyone's bullish, everyone's bearish. But that's stupid, right? If you choose the people you're following and you follow smart people and everyone is bullish, you should be like, oh, maybe I should be bullish because a bunch of people that I respect, that I follow for a reason, are bullish. Maybe there's something behind there, right? So it'd be stupid to counter trade the people that you're following, because you should be following them for a reason. But for example, for me, it's very easy to kind of see sentiment across the board by just seeing what people comment under my tweets, how much engagement I get, how angry people are at me, like all that kind of stuff is very easy, because I mean, it's just the broad population, right? It's not like good traders that I follow. It's just the broad population that gives me comments. So yeah, the kind of divide between what you see on Twitter and the market is just caused by a bunch of people basically cheerleading their positions. So if prices go low and people sell, they're gonna be bearish on Twitter because they want it lower, because they wanna look good, they wanna be right mostly, and they wanna maybe buy back lower. But most of the people just want to be right. They wanna be like the cool person that called it like, oh, I didn't sell at 60K, but at least I sold at 20 before it went to 12. That kind of thing. And they're getting fucked right now. They're probably getting fucked, and I love to see it. It's not because I like to see people lose money. It's just because people were very loud and people were very rude, and people were very full of themselves. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it. And I think in general, like, you can celebrate, at least for me, right? Because I've been bearish most of the way down. And it's very hard to celebrate when you're bearish on the way down and prices go down as like someone that tries to be a decent person, because you don't want to kick people in the face and be like, "Ha, you fucking idiot, you believed in something and now it's going down." Like, that's not something I want to be doing. But when prices go up, I really don't have a problem being like, "Hey, you idiots, what are you doing?" Because like, yeah, I mean, you're in something that you like. We all like crypto. If you're betting against it, I mean, and then publicly bet against it, you might as well like, you're inviting people to make fun of you, and I think it's fair, right? Because you're basically shit talking something that a lot of people like. So I mean, they're gonna respond. So I can celebrate on the way up. I cannot really celebrate on the way down. So I've been getting that out of the way. Hey Don, why not sell and re-enter? Because maybe I don't get a re-entry. Fuck that. Like, I mean, I'm up 50% on Bitcoin alone. And I could have sold at 7. Like, I bought at like 16K, a little bit below 16K. I could have sold, at 17 or 18K and been like, oh, I'm such a genius. And then rebought at 16 and sold at 17, and then missed the entire move from 17 to 20K. Nah, I'm not trying to be a genius. I'm trying to get the move that I'm seeing in the market. I'm not trying to get more. I used to do that more often than not. I just ended up missing out on the move that was very telegraphed just by trying to milk it for 1 or 2 more percent. This is a 50% move. I don't need to milk it for a percent or two. Why does the duck squawking sound different than normal? Because I'm sick, my friend. If the people buying Bitcoin right now causing prices to go up were on Twitter, they would not be buying. Makes me believe actual market is not on Twitter. I don't quite understand what you mean. I mean, obviously not everyone that is buying crypto is on Twitter. There's maybe like 10%, if that. But it's the same piece of, like, you have a pie of crypto buyers and it's just 10% on Twitter, but they're not, like, it's the same pie. It's a fucking cherry pie. And this is still the cherry pie in here. Like, the people acting the same way, the 10% on Twitter is just the 90% on everywhere else. So, with all the bearish news, the way we are holding is very bullish. I very much agree, my friend. Where is the next resistance? Do we expect the pump to respect the resistance? So the next resistance is 32K. Fuck every other resistance. There's no resistance. There's no second best. There is only this resistance. Everything else is garbage to me, and I will not be convinced otherwise. So, looking for that ETH rotation? Not really, no. I still, like, I'm trading Litecoin. Obviously, it's getting fucked by today's move a little bit. On the altcoin front, I mean, I have a bunch of ETH. Don't get me wrong. Everything on the altcoin, like the Bitcoin pairs, are kind of struggling. But yeah, I'm not really willing to rotate my Litecoin into ETH yet. It seems so. I have ETH. Don't get me wrong. Like I said. But basically, this is Litecoin against ETH, and I think I can get more. So basically this is, and I want to see this. I want to see one more move from Litecoin against ETH, and then I will rotate my Litecoin into ETH. And my Bitcoin, I'm not so sure what I'm gonna do with it. If I'm rotating it into ETH or not, we'll see at 32k. But I'm not ready to sell Bitcoin yet. I think there's still good chance that it keeps on outperforming the other altcoins, right? I chose the duck over ICT Life. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it. Dawn, Litecoin weekly parabola seems imminent. Let's look at it. Yeah, I mean, that just looks fucking good, no? Like, I don't really care if it underperforms, outperforms Bitcoin, whatever. This is just a fucking magnificent chart. There's two ways to draw it. In Technical Roundup, we have something like this as support. Here I have this as resistance. I think it's like, this chart is actually better than the one I had. Bounced from support, ran into resistance, but basically this is going up linearly, and yeah, I don't really see a problem with this so far. I actually, a bunch of people on Twitter shorted this publicly on this one red weekly candle, like on the bottom of the red weekly candle, which I find hilarious. You pick one of the coins that has been outperforming since basically October 22, and then you do it on the weakest pullback imaginable. Quite funny to me, but everyone for themselves, right? So I mean, yeah, some people are just like they short for $5 in an uptrend, right? Instead of just buying 60 and then taking it to 200, they'd rather buy, like, they'd rather short 90, sell at 80, buy back at 88, short 100, buy back at like whatever 95. Don't really get it. So Don, do you remember in 2018, can we short altcoins easy like 2022? I don't really understand what you mean, sorry. Hi Don, can you please explain when we should use lines as support resistance levels and when rectangle zones? I always try to figure out looking at your charts but could not. So basically, when you have a bunch of lines that you could draw in an area and they're all good, you just box it out, because, like, for example, in this one, just seems like you have this box here that I just drew, right? You could draw a line here. It's good enough, but then there's also, like, down here, like, you have a bunch of confluence on why this is a good line, and then you could technically also have like one here, and this is useless, right? Like, why the fuck would you want to have so many lines on your chart? And in that case, I'm just using a box that accurately represents what I'm looking at. And when I just have one line that makes sense, I just like to use the line. So if, for example, here was a resistance here, kind of front ran it here a little bit, but we hit it here, like, and it's a round number. That makes sense to me as a line. Like, I don't need to draw a box here. Like, one, I don't really have anything to draw a box off of, and two, like, why would I draw a box here? It's just a good line. So depends is basically the answer. And I like to, when you have like these swing points with small candles at the top. So for example, this green candle before the red ones, I like to box those generally. So this is a nice box, and you can see that it's been excellent, but you don't have to. So box is always, basically the top and the bottom of the box are the most important parts. Everything in between is just, you want to see a slowdown of price action, and you want to see some defense from the bulls or the bears in the middle of the box. You don't necessarily care too much about anything beyond like the top and the bottom box. The box is just there for for context, right? Hope that makes sense. But it depends, and it very much depends on, like, I can look at the market in 100 different ways. So hope that helps. Might not, but yeah. So yeah, Bitcoin just straight pumpage. That's quite good news. ETH, a little bit less so. ETH BTC is struggling as we expected. We've talked about it for weeks now, but yeah, it's been bleeding basically. And I think before Bitcoin really tops out, ETH's probably gonna be bleeding, and then we're gonna get a 2017-18 kind of altcoin rally where ETH is gonna outperform again. And there might actually be this cycle might actually end with ETH flipping Bitcoin before everything goes to shit. Would be quite nice. I'm not sure. I don't really care. I just know that I want to rotate later on. Not necessarily right now, but later on. I'm totally down to. And yeah, there you go. What is your re-entry after selling 32k? I don't necessarily have to sell 32k. It depends on what we do there. And if I get to sell 32k because it looks weak, I want to rebuy 24. In 2022, I can short altcoins easily on Binance. Where could we short altcoins in 2018? It's what I mean. Bitfinex was the place to short altcoins back in 2018. All Don cares about is $200 Litecoin. I would very much be happy with that. But I mean, I do also care about Bitcoin, and I do like to see ETH going up. That's always good news. Yeah, I mean, those are my two biggest positions. I also have XRP that's been underperforming massively, but I don't really care about it too much because I want to rotate into it later on. So I'm quite happy if it underperforms because then I can just rotate more into it later on, which it's just, I mean, I love those kind of rotation plays. With Litecoin on the Bitcoin pair, we've been stuck in a range, and it's actually been surprisingly strong to me. There's not really, like, I mean, I thought we would bounce from the range low here, but I wasn't sure we would bounce this high. It's been pretty strong this week. Like, even the last few days have been quite good in comparison to a lot of other altcoins. It's just getting a beating now from Bitcoin just going up in a straight line. But I like that. Like a lot of other altcoins too. I was like very, very close to getting a Lido position, but ended up not getting filled, which is kind of typical. So now it's going to go to infinity. But yeah, it's just the name of the game. Sometimes that happens. Any thoughts on Curve if you're doing suggestions? No, I don't want to do too long today because my voice is already starting to go. So I'm not going to go over altcoins. I'm sorry about that. I mean, as you can hear, I sound like shit. Today is like one of the first days that I don't feel like shit, so I don't want to overdo it. How does volume play into your TA? Also, you look at order books. Volume, almost nothing. I don't really care about it too much. Only at extreme points. And order books, I mean, I have my fun with it, but it's not really necessary. And I think order books and volume are quite nice for lower time frames, but you don't need it for the higher time frames. Like on the weekly time frame, I bought this 16k support and really didn't care too much about the volume or the order book at that point. Like the order book can change from one day to the next. Like that's not necessarily something I need to have on my side for high time frame trading. So my 20k order didn't fill. Should I FOMO now or later after 30k? Honestly, I cannot give you good advice. Like my good advice has been, this is not gonna retest supports. That's the good advice that I've been giving, and it's been excellent. I've been very right with that, but I mean, obviously kind of shitty because I mean then you don't really have anything to buy. So you're just gonna sit there and you're gonna see it go higher and higher and not retesting supports. But I mean that's just kind of how I'm expecting the market to trade. And I'm sorry to say, that there's not really anything you can do. If you buy now, there's a good chance it's gonna pull back. If you buy at 30k, you're gonna get fucked. I mean, this was the best pullback that you could get. I'm kind of sad that I was sick because I would have shilled this hard. I shilled it once. I mean, I can show you guys. There was one tweet that I sent during my sickness, right? Like one tweet. I was gone for like a week. Besides my update on my sickness, which, yeah. Here you go. Like that's the one tweet that I sent. And as I'm gone for a week and all I'm seeing is a bunch of people proudly shorting at a higher low. And that was that was down here. And I cannot really do much more, especially when I'm sick. So that's more like that's all I can do. Now we're like trading up here and it's obviously a shitty entry. We're at 24k. And you could have bought at 21. But yeah, it's just how it is sometimes. And I cannot give you a good answer to your question. Your voice is leaving. You should also leave, bro. Yeah, this is pretty much it for me. Yeah, appreciate you guys coming by. Like I said, I'm not selling any resistances. Just fucking send it. Bears can go fuck themselves. That's gonna be the top, but I don't really care at this point. Like this shit's up 60%. Like, I mean, it's just what it is. But yeah, hope you guys have been catching the moves, been taking advantage of the upside. It's been great, and I'll be back more. I'll be back on Friday, and I'll try to be there next week. The only thing is that like my girlfriend's not been sick this entire week, but she's starting now that I'm getting over it. So if she's sick, I'm gonna be taking care of her. So we'll see how much time I have, but it should be good in any case. And yeah, stay safe. Don't use too much leverage. Love you guys, and we'll see each other very, very soon.